All right, so here we are doing a Rhino session with Mara from the Boston Architectural College, and she has this nice sketch that, model that we want to kind of replicate. So the first thing I did was that I randomly created all these points, which do not relate at all to her actual model, but are a representation of what it looks like to have something with multiple heights. As you can see, they all have different heights. Okay, I did an elevation right there to see it. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to essentially, there are more points here than what I have, but it doesn't matter. So we're gonna create the outer edge and we're gonna create a sweep around that edge. And we're gonna do two rails, and those rails are gonna serve those as the path that we're going to use to generate our skin. And we're gonna use Grasshopper to create a diagrid onto that skin. And then we're gonna use Dupe Edge to extract all of the lines of that diagrid and then pipe them. Okay, a little crazy, but once you have these lines, now I'm doing it randomly because I do not have the formula for what her design is. If I had her floor plans and drawings and things like that, I will be a little bit more accurate. And if I have dimensions, I will be a lot more accurate. In this case, I'm not, okay? The first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm going to draw a series of lines that will serve me as paths. And I'm gonna do two paths. That's gonna be one. This other one's gonna be two. Okay? Then I'm gonna do another line right here. And I'm gonna say sweep. And I'm gonna say sweep two. And I'm gonna use one rail and another rail. And this is gonna be my cross section. And this generates a poly surface out of this. I do not like poly. Well, this is a little funny here. The way it folded, I don't like it. So I'm gonna redo that. There are things you can do when that happens. But it all has to do with how the path was created. So like, for instance, if instead of doing that, I do the path differently, where these lines are going to be my rail, and this right here is going to be my path. So my piece. So sweep one. So rail one, rail two, my section. This can help you make it a little bit cleaner. You see how clean that is? Excellent. Now we do have an issue because we're gonna use Grasshopper to do this. And Grasshopper doesn't really like poly surfaces. So what I would do is I would explode this guy and it creates different surfaces. And there is this tool called Merge Surface, which you click one and the other and it merges them together. Now it does create really nice soft edges, which may not be your preference, but for the purpose of this exercise, we're not going to end up with nice soft edges. We're going to end up with something really cool. So this is step one, getting your path as loyal as possible. This doesn't really follow it as much, but we can rebuild that later. So soft as possible. And then we're going to open Grasshopper. And what we're going to do is that we're going to be needing I don't want to start from scratch, but you're gonna need a slider, and they're found on params and slider right here, well, right here. And then you're gonna need a surface, which you go to Launchbox. Actually, you go to params, you go to surface, and here it is. You're going to now tell Rhino what's my surface. This guy, I want it to be embedded inside this thing. Then you're gonna go to Launchbox. And with Launchbox, you're going to pick whichever you like out of all of these panels. And you're going to say, this survey is going to be panelized in this fashion. Okay? You make sure you are comfortable and like what you're getting. And if you don't like it, do something else and play with it. But it will rebuild this surface onto this sort of system. There are multiple options. So if you don't like some of those, you can pick some other. In this case, let's say if you want to use this one, just plug it right in by dragging the edge as an input and output, and you just change your members. This one has a minimum of 10, so now once you have your shape and you're happy with it, you can come here and say bake, and it will bake it. I always like to group them inside there. And what it does, I can close Lunchbox. It already has created this sort of diagram structure. The other surface doesn't matter to us. We can delete it if we wanted to. Now there's a tool called Dupe Edge, which allows you to literally select these elements and obtain the edges off of them. Once you've done that, you could literally delete the leftover of this element and say cell last, and then you can pipe it. Pipe. And you can give it thickness and then enter. Takes a little while because there are a lot of components being done there. But if you go in it, you've already gotten your diagrid. Very beautiful, very sleek. You can play with your structure here and make sure it's what you want. You can play with your pipes and stuff like that to make sure that they're how you want them. And you've completed your kind of diagrid tensile structure. There's these pipes that were done because we edged the the pipe themselves, the columns themselves. When I did it, I wasn't too friendly, but you can fix that. Okay. And this is one of the ways you can do that. Can you be more accurate? Can you be more precise? Yeah. It's a matter of going to Grasshopper and selecting the right components. There's a lot of ways of panelizing this thing. There's a lot of ways of fixing these things. There's tools within Grasshopper that help you normalize this so that they're all the same size and things like that. I didn't get into that. That's something you have to play with. There's literally some elements are normal and some things you can input as instead of the slider. Another option is you could actually input the same slider twice. Now this is because I deleted the other one that's showing red, but I hope this video was useful to you. It's a simple way of panelizing and creating some sort of really funky diagram that's tensile and it goes all around. And like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.